welcome to Press Play Podcast, the public relations podcast where we dive into all different topics with like real talk, how we would talk behind the scenes. So welcome. I'm joined today by Elizabeth Domenech and Ashley Pontius, both major PR pros. Thanks for being here.
Thank you for having us.
Yes, thank you for having us.
Today, we're going to talk about credit unions. So credit unions are one of our favorite industries to work within. We've been working with credit unions for more than 10 years, and each of us on here have helped credit unions, credit union clients, and for a long time, and we all really enjoy it. So I think that we know credit unions inside and out. We understand what makes them work, tick, the messages that they want to get out, and what makes them special and different. So I just figured let's just talk about what that's like to work with credit unions. Why are they your favorite, and and so on. And if you have any special tips for them to further get their message out. So maybe we'll start with you, Elizabeth.
Oh, absolutely. I think working with credit unions is awesome, first of all, but it's different as well in the sense that they're very community-based. Obviously, their members are the owners, so it makes them more people-centered, and they focus a lot on doing good, which for us at NSPR is wonderful because we love working with clients that do good. So credit unions are a perfect fit for us, and we, like you said, have been working with credit unions across the nation for so long now that just getting engaged with all of their communities is just an amazing experience.
It really is. And I find that credit unions, first of all, I will say this, if you're working with a credit union and you're in PR, the term is members. So you got to get the terminology right. I think as we pass on our knowledge to others and they say your customers group, it's cringe because we know that members are really who their customers are. And so we all learn that terminology, and it really helps us even understand their members are part of it. But I also think credit unions, they in general have the want to get their message out for people to understand they're not a bank, that they often have really maybe superior products compared to a bank, and yet sometimes they're the underdog or overlooked because simply people don't understand, or they think I'm not eligible to be in this credit union, I'm not a member of a military school board, or whatever other requirements are. Ashley, do you see that when you're working with your clients?
Yeah, absolutely. I'll echo Elizabeth. I love working with credit unions because they are so community-based and focused, and they have a lot more freedom than maybe a traditional bank and financial institution from a public relations perspective to really get creative and get out there in the community and give back and create stories. So one thing we do a lot with our credit unions who are clients are put them in a corporate social responsibility program where every single month we're thinking of an event or a different way that they can give back to the community, even if it's something small, like doing a handout or something at their branch for their members, something like that, that they are getting the word out about themselves and the community and to their members in a creative, unique way that's also helping others. So, and they also help financially. So they're helping people get those low interest rates, get loans that maybe they couldn't get at a traditional bank, get better rates, or even just accounts to save their money. So I think that's something that really makes them stand out.
Yeah, now I'm going to ask you. Oh, go ahead, Elizabeth.
I'm so sorry. I also think that sometimes people think that they can be members, but sometimes it's very easy. I remember the first time I believe I bought a car, I financed it with a credit union, so I immediately became a member. And that's really great because obviously it's member owned, so you get many benefits from it. And what I just did was just buy a car. I wasn't military or a teacher or anything in particular. So I think there's a little misconception there as well.
So I'm gonna put you each on the spot. A question that I have not asked you before, which is like, is there or are there any campaigns that we've done for our credit union clients that just stand out that you remember that you're like, oh my God, this credit union did this once? I'll kind of jump in and get started to give you some time to think about it. But we once had a credit union work with several food banks across the country, and they did a cereal competition where they even asked other credit unions to compete with them to bring like Lucky Charms, Golden Grams, Frosted Flakes, whatever it was, and collect them for donation to these food banks. And the way they did it was really cool because it was over social media too. A lot of this like competition or smack talk, if you will, like, oh, I'm just sitting here with my Lucky Charms. And I just thought it was so cool. And that's like the beauty of credit unions, is that they are really cool. All right, so that's one of my stories. I probably have a million, so I'll stop there. But Ashley or Elizabeth, anyone want to jump in first with a campaign that stands out to you?
Yeah.
Go ahead.
Okay. Yeah. Are you sure? I'm so excited. I remember that one. I think you were talking about Jennifer. I'm a dog lover. So one that comes to mind for me, one of our clients did a campaign around, I think it was National Puppy Day or National Puppy Month. So they actually partnered with a food bank. But one thing people don't think about a lot of times is people that may be in need of food and other goods, their pets are also hungry and they might have to give them up or they can't afford pet foods. So they did an entire food drive just for dog and also cat food, even though it was National Puppy Day. Any type of pet, you could bring any type of pet food to their branches during this particular month. And then, they did a big rollout campaign and presented it to the food bank in the area. And it was just a really nice story that, a lot of people giving back to maybe community members, pets that people don't think about all the time. So it was really sweet.
That was a nice one, a very, very
Yeah.
nice one. I know you enjoyed it. I remember one we had, I can't remember the name of the campaign. I think it was Make Hope Real or something like that, but they did it every year during Christmas, and they basically supported, I can't remember from the top of my head how many families, but let's say it was 10 families during the holidays, and they would take them shopping for gifts for kids that probably, if they didn't receive the help from the credit union, wouldn't have a Christmas. So that one always made me smile, and I love Christmas, so definitely was a good one. I also think that well, they always have so much that they can do, but another one was, I think it was something with a penny, and they went into schools to teach children how to save and how to be more financially conscious. I think you worked on that one, Ashley, actually, and that was really
Yeah. Yeah, it was really cute. That's it. I think credit union, they just do so much. Like I was saying with the pets, they do stuff with kids and people that are maybe just forgotten or don't necessarily get attention from traditional banks. That it's heartwarming and it's wonderful to work with them, and it's giving them an opportunity to get their messaging and story out there.
Once I worked with a credit union that there was a local natural disaster storm. And they had their employees, so not even really their members, but they opened it up to their employees to take a jujitsu class. And it was $5 to do the class, and all of those donations they gave to the like local crisis center to help people. Just cool. Like that's creative and cool. And they got a lot of media because of it, because we just thought that was so cool. And we pitched it to the media, and boom, everyone knew about it. It was really just interesting. We all collectively have a client that does something really cool. Every year they they give every employee, let's just say $100 to not just spend on themselves, but to pay it forward. So they give them that money to give to someone else in a way that's personal, meaningful, whatever it is. And I just think that's really cool. And it's all those like kind of stories that are underground almost, where like you have to dig them up to even find out about it. And let people know like you're doing business with an organization that like actually cares and does something cool. So I don't know, I just love all that stuff.
Cool too, because they don't do it for the publicity, right? They sometimes don't even think it is media worthy, and they forget even to tell us sometimes. But they do these things instinctively, like every year, or they do things for their community that sometimes go under the radar because they just do it out of their good of their hearts.
Yeah. And even their products, like there's one credit union that comes to mind, and I know several of them do this, but have those specialized cards that if you have a tree card, a roundup of your purchase goes to whatever charity that's like helping the environment, or a food bank, or high school, or middle school, or police, military, veterans, whatever your card is, the roundup goes to that charity and nonprofit. And wow, this one credit union told me that their roundup card for whatever particular program purchased like drones that helped an organization do search and rescue, and they ended up like finding like a lost hiker and their family, when the local law enforcement was like looking, and because of these drones they were able to find them. I mean, it's just all sorts of really cool stories that exist. And I would say what you just mentioned, Elizabeth, so many of them are like, that's just what we do. They don't realize like it's such a big deal. And then we're like over here, like PR people, like, I'm gonna let every news station know and all the trade publications know, because it is a cool deal. And we want more people to become members of that credit union because of the amazing things that they're doing.
That is true. And you
Yeah.
did mention the products, Jennifer. I think in product sense, they are obviously they have their own, like any bank, right? But I think the difference from the credit union really is the service. When you are in a credit union, they will follow up, they know your name, they are very personable. It's not like, no, you don't qualify and that's it. Bye bye. They really will go out of their way to make you not only feel better, but probably try to get what you need.
Mhm. We once had a story that we worked on that a representative of a credit union helped, and forgive me, I don't have all the details, but they helped someone like recover, like maybe there was a breach in their account or something like that, and they helped them recover. I would say it was a substantial amount of funds, and like that service where that person didn't stop
I think I
investigating.
know. I think I
Yeah.
know what you're talking about. It was like
Yeah.
$250,000. It was either 250,000 or $350,000. I worked on that, so that's why I know what you're talking about. And the person from the credit union kept sending letters to this person that money was just gonna go away. The account was gonna close and nothing was gonna happen. And the reason why nobody was answered was because it was under the name of this guy's mom, and she unfortunately had passed away. So the employee at the credit union just kept calling and sending letters, nothing happened. So he noticed that the address was not that far from where the credit union's headquarters were, and he drove to the house and explained the whole situation, and the person was able to recover all of that money, which is a lot of money.
Yeah. It's like a whole inheritance.
Yeah,
It's
basically.
amazing. I think that's what really makes a difference. So, like you were saying, Elizabeth, I think, and Jennifer, they don't always our clients that are credit unions don't always understand that that personal touch, those things they're doing in the community are stories and can get them out there in the media and really are impactful and can bring in members. And that's a question we get asked a lot about, especially earned media is, well, does that really bring in foot traffic? Does that bring in people to our credit union? And that's how it can, building on, your advertising, your social media, all those things that you're doing. If you can also show you're involved in the community and they're seeing you giving back, they're seeing, oh, they're building a home, down the street from me with Habitat for Humanity, or they're raising money for my local food bank. Those are all things that are going to make them want to also then bank with you.
Absolutely. And I remember a story. I think this was around COVID. One of our credit unions had a business owner that had a business loan, and COVID really just interrupted their business in a way that was terminal, and that they couldn't survive. And this credit union did their magic to help make other either programs or a loan or something that helped them during that period. And that business is still around today because they were able to get through that. And that didn't happen by accident. It didn't happen by, magic. It was a person on the other end of the credit union making things occur. And I think that that's really important because these credit unions are doing this every day. But again, they're like, well, I don't know, I just help somebody. And they're like, you help somebody. People should know about it, but because there are other people that can get help. You could be helping even more people. So it's not like a pat on the back, like, oh, you did a good job and we want to get you a pat on the back. It's not that at all. It's by spreading positive news, other people will even catch on, do business, and have greater benefit for that community or cause or mission or whatever it is. So, I mean, it's just such a multiplier and great way for credit unions to just keep on doing the right thing. You guys are special, you credit unions.
Absolutely.
Yeah, and I think that there's almost endless stories too, from pets to vets to grandparents to, oh my God, I have 100,000 stories. Yeah, there was a story about, and it was so sweet. It was an Olympian athlete former Olympian athlete, he was in his 90s, but he would go to the credit union, I forgot, once a week or whatever it was, to do his banking in person, and that was his time. And he said that was like his family. And just, they didn't rush him, they all knew him, and just so cool. Again, and he had a cool story of being an Olympian for whatever year it was, but obviously it was in history, and it was just a really cool story to share with others. These people care.
That is true. I also love the stories when it is the grandma that has been with the credit union forever, and now the grandson or the granddaughter, she brought them to the credit union, and it's just like a family thing. There's hundreds of those.
Yeah. We even have stories of employees of our clients' credit unions that, mom works at the credit union and now son or daughter is interning there, just started working there, and work their way up through the ranks. And that's something that makes credit union special too. I think it's one of our clients, one of their chief executives literally worked there since she was in her late teens, early 20s, worked her way up from a branch manager and is now in the C-suite. So it's that educational opportunity too, and the opportunities they give to their employees and people in the community really makes them stand out.
Mm-hmm. And they get excited about their teams, genuinely, so when we're dealing with clients, we get to see a client how they really are, because they're not in front of a camera or their social media, they're just them. I would say the credit union clients that we have worked with, and we've worked with credit unions across the country, are genuinely good eggs, like good people that actually care. And guys, it's just I swear they're attracting a certain type of person.
Yeah. They're very nice, wonderful to deal with, always happy to talk to you, always have great ideas, and genuinely want to help and give back and get good stories out there. It's not really about the bottom line or, you know, what are you doing for me today? It's about we want to give back to the community.
Oh, something else just crossed my mind, scholarships. So I know a lot of credit unions do scholarships, and oh
Mhm.
my gosh, have I seen some of the most beautiful stories from that. Kids that, would have never had any other opportunity to go to college, or it was just the catalyst that they needed to even try, to kids that, I once read a story, an application from a client that, um, the computer that she got from the scholarship helped her like do classes and everything, and she was taking care of like her four other siblings because one of her parents passed away, and like she just needed, not only was she taking care of these siblings, she was trying to do it all, and she didn't have a laptop, so was not really successful in like her schoolwork, and this just made her flourish and blossom, and she got accepted to the college that she wanted to go to after she did graduate. And she really attributed it to this like laptop that she got and from the credit union. Just so many beautiful stories. I know another credit union had, so we're talking about scholarships to, colleges, but on the other end, they had scholarships to like summer camps, kids' summer camps. So the children would write in and draw pictures and say, I want to be, a pilot when I grow up, or I want to be a scientist, I want to be a marine biologist. And if I can go to this summer camp where I can learn a little bit more about it, that would be my dream. And to think like they take those applications and really read through them, it is just heartwarming, and that they could be really starting that child off on such a right foot. And those summer camps are so expensive, so back to helping the caregivers with their own finances. What beautiful stories. So we loved that. We sent a few of those applications to the news and shared with them the drawings and where the child went and for summer camp, and it just was such a beautiful story.
Yeah, we have so many of those. Even that reminds me, this past summer, one of our clients, they actually sponsored a camp for the visually impaired. So it was kids that were blind, even into their teens, college kids, and just, helping them. It was at like a nature reserve in our community, helping them learn how to camp, learn about different animals, and it was just a really sweet story. They went in and, we're learning about, touch with feeling the different animals and things like that. So going back to the even help, kind of underrepresented communities and people that aren't always recognized in the communities. So I really love that.
It's interesting. I think the moral of the story is that credit unions are awesome, but often they're not even realizing how awesome, or that they have all of these stories, and what being in the news regularly does for them. It's not an advertisement. People know it's not an ad. It's a credible news source, and they're telling their story, and it does translate to membership because people see it and go, wow. And it also translates, I'm sure, to loyalty. People continuing to be members because they're like, my credit union is amazing.
Absolutely. It's just it contributes to that brand value all around. They're seeing you everywhere. They're not just seeing you in, your mailers or your direct advertising. They're seeing you when they turn on their local news at night, and seeing that you're doing good.
Mhm. Well, keep on doing good, credit unions. We love working with you, and we just love sharing credit union stories with the media. So I think that wraps us up. Thank you so much for tuning in, and we will talk with you next time.